I, uh, I specifically waited for the moment where Chester was in the middle of making a point before the podcast goes live, and then I went live. I was like, Brad, tell me the secrets of life. And he's like, well, let me tell you this. And boom, I went live right there. So it's pretty awesome. I loved it. I loved every moment of it. For those who are listening, what's up? How are you guys doing? How's everyone going? How are you two doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Amazing. Sniggs does want to know if you can get max scores. Sniggs is literally doing it so it's on a sliding scale, like even way, way harder than the WTC.
Well, Sniggs, I'm not coming, so you don't have to make it that extreme. So you don't have to worry about anyone else. You're fine. So just make it a normal event, man. I don't know why you're like so gung ho about the whole thing. It's not like someone showed up.
Ends up second, we're all fine.
Yeah, it's not like someone showed up to your last event that you were participating in and got a perfect score of 270. I mean, that didn't happen.
I heard he was running this weird list that became not legal the next day.
Those are the best kind of lists to run. The lists that you don't even want to learn them because there's no point. You're like, oh man, Alan played this really sick army. It doesn't exist anymore. So I guess we don't have to worry about it. So it's perfect.
The best is still that you made a fucking meme to me because you did the little fucking MasterCard price list. You're like fucking winning versus Brad with a perfect score.
It was bad. It was the best. Yeah. No, winning a single day RTT, like $50. You know, like showing up and surprising Brad Chester, who didn't game for me, $100. Beating Brad Chester in the same tournament without having to play him, priceless. Some things money can't buy. No, but how hard is it to get a perfect at the Glass City GT? For those who don't know, I think the Glass City GT is this weekend, right, Brad?
This weekend.
So this weekend, so in a couple days. Tuesday's like already with Thursday for me. Thursday's already Saturday. So it's like basically right here.
It's already we're basically playing the tournament right now.
How many people? Do you know how many people are going to be at it?
I do not. It's going to be a major though. We are over 58, I think, is the whatever the number is for major.
Okay.
So,
got it.
How cool. Can I participate?
You can fly to Detroit International Airport, and I will pick you up.
Is that possible?
No.
I mean, always possible.
No.
Do I need to call Elon Musk and get a private jet?
Gotta call Elon, bro.
Not 100% sure that you'd have to fly under the radar somehow because I'm pretty sure we won't allow people in. But
what kind of terrain is Sniggs using there? Is he using the WTC style, like with like a lot of stuff, or is he using like
It's in the middle. He's got a ton of terrain was made for this. He got 60 new mats, the new mats for the thing, and then we're starting off with effectively like his minimum terrain for each table was 2 of each of the elements, like 2 rune walls, 2 ruins, 2 forests. Making sure that each table was pretty diverse. I'm pretty happy about it. You know what I mean? That would just have able to use a lot of different terrain in each barricades. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different things that are going on each table, which I really, really like when I'm playing, just to have different interactions. You know what I mean? Not just like all of one type of thing. As long as there's terrain, TOs, as long as you have terrain, I'm happy. I'm happier if I get a wide array of different terrain.
You must be excited too. You haven't done a tournament in a while. In the last tournament you did, you got upset by this better player. I don't know.
By a better player. I heard this Glansberg dude. He's probably number 1 in the ITC right now.
Hey, I signed up for Gary's tournament, and Gary messaged me. Gary's like, "Hey, are you signing up for the Chicago tournament in June?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I signed up already." He's like, "What do you mean you signed up already? I don't have your payment." I'm like, "Yeah, I signed up. I'm Steven Glansberg." And he's like, "Oh, that's you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You paid $5 too much." I'm like, "Well, I paid $5 because I asked you like 800 times how to pay for it." And I was like, "You know what? There needs to be a penalty fee for asking so many questions." So I just gave $5 extra. But I'm excited for that one, the June event. Tony Malave is going. I'm going. Kareem Abraham is going from our area. Going. Brad's going. So it's going to be a lot of people there. I'm excited for that one. So June's not too far away. I don't know what Daniel's doing.
I'm good. Back to back to back. Every month I have an event. I'm pretty excited. I'm very excited to hang out, do 40K type stuffs.
What are you doing in May? What event do you have in May?
There's a couple different ones that I'm debating on. It depends on the COVID situation because what is it, May? There's some shit out east, but I refuse to travel until
the Brazilian strand.
Yeah, like basically you East Coasters, man, you keep your weird death viruses to yourself. I'm a fragile man.
Do you see what's going on for spring break in Miami? It was insane, dude. I saw the video footage of that. I was like, whoa. There's like millions of people out.
Well, in Europe, and we're
Florida man does Florida man shit, dude.
Wait, what did Daniel say? He said we've seen it also, and we're wondering what's wrong with people. What did you say?
No, we've seen it in Europe as well, and we're wondering what's going on. It's strange, man. I mean,
it's just it's so weird.
Is it only in Florida, or what's going on there?
Well, Florida, apparently, as soon as you get into Florida, you immediately lose your mind. They hit you with some sort of like a mind-bending fucking ray, and you no longer can make adult decisions.
So
you just do weird shit.
Isn't half of the population in Florida over 70?
Yeah, probably more.
No, I mean it's an old people state. There's overabundance of it. It's still just a zillion people sitting there. It's so just people doing bad decisions. How about that? Who knows? Even the old people probably they're just doing weird stuff. But, people do want to know what the perfect noodling spot is. By the way, I need to know this also, Alan.
We're gonna have a whole broadcast on noodling. We're planning it all out. I'm trying to see if we actually. I have sent out some emails for a sponsored noodling video, and I'm very excited about it. More information will come when we get the approval to do the whole thing. But I'm pretty pumped about the noodling episode that we will have in the future. So it really comes down to whether or not Brad will drown, and. We'll open up. I
was figuring I got the floaties. I got the little arm floaties.
You can't have an arm floaty. You have to stick your hand in.
Fine, I'll have one arm
nest,
floaty
a nest
that's
for the
holding me up, and then my noodling arm, my power noodling arm. I'm gonna fucking slam that power noodle arm.
The distance between your one hand and your other hand is too small. You're gonna have to actually submerge. You're gonna actually have to hold your breath.
I think it's better to invest in a huge snorkel. Like
I can
snorkel.
I'll scuba dive and noodle. I have equipment.
I like Daniel. Daniel goes, just invest in a huge snorkel. The great trip of noodling is planned for like sometime next year. But we're gonna start working towards getting it all figured out. And
I'm gonna practice noodling in Sweden a lot, but we don't have any fish that I can catch that way.
So what are you doing? Just fingering
I'm just gonna walk around in water, sticking my hand in the holes.
I can't. Corey's out of control with this. Bad decisions for kids in spring break. Why don't you tell that to my half goat child in Florida? He lives with his mom on a farm. Just. That hurt my soul. Carmona asking questions that are basically an entire fucking podcast worth of questions.
Well, I don't know what he's
asking. 1,000% I agree. We should basically have at least 2 teams in the WTC.
I think you guys should have 3 teams.
Yeah, I'm saying at least 2 teams. It's crazy.
I think it should be 4.
You could just do fucking East Coast, West Coast, and basically.
Alan, it doesn't matter if you have 6 teams. You're not on any one of them anyway.
So true. So
you have a bigger chance of being on my team.
I was just going to say he's going to be on Team Sweden.
Facts
so
of life.
He's saying that.
I would rather be on Team Sweden. That'd be the best.
The best is we could use a fake name on that one too.
No, I can't. I can't be on Team Sweden though either until No Sex Jimmy's off of it because he's like so gung ho about only Swedes on his team. He's very like.
Look, dude, you just got to get a fake little curly mustache, and just everybody refers to you as Sven.
He's a big nationalist kind of guy, you know, in the worst kind of ways.
He's xenophobic.
Yeah, he's xenophobic. He's like, no, I don't care what Alan is.
Shout out to God.
You can't get on our team. So, but yeah, no, Daniel, you're totally right. But yeah, no, we could definitely 2 teams would be cool. I would like 2 teams. I can always get on the Age of Sigmar team.
Great Britain has like 6 teams or whatever. You guys could easily.
Ireland had Northern Ireland and Ireland. We have more people than that in New York, like the city, not the state.
Yeah, pretty bad. So after this week, there's going to be a shakeup to the meta, and I don't know anything about it. I'm curious, Brad, if you want to break down anything in particular.
I'll be playing that. Bandwagon Brad is put his Dark Eldar hat on. I'm going to be
looking really cool, I think. I'm liking what I'm thinking so far.
The super fast army, crazily fast. Still a glass cannon. You're still T3, but like a lot of things have changed for them in certain units that make those units super huge. For instance, Hellions. Everybody gives me because I gave Sean so much shit about running them, but they literally gained a wound, a save, a toughness, an attack, and they now have a strat to do fly over mortal wounds. You know what I mean? They're literally wounding infantry on 4-ups.
How many more points are they?
They have advance and charge as part of the power from pain chart on turn 2.
No, Brad, how many more points are they though?
They're not. They're the exact same thing. Those points were already
17 points.
17 points. All the points were already Dunskies basically on that Munistorm.
But in the Codex, Reaver bikes are 10 points.
Are 10 points, yeah. However, just run them as 20 because that's what they were.
So it was a misprint then in the Codex.
Yeah, well, either that or they just decided later on. You know what I mean? So, but I think it was a misprint in the first. But the Munistorm
points 10 points until there's an FAQ on the Codex.
Well, there's a live FAQ now.
Yeah, but
but that's older than the Codex.
Exactly. Daniel is right on this because technically, Scary and I were just talking about this. We're both playing them at 20 points, and we were basically sending some lists back and forth and talking about some stuff. But the way GW does stuff, they've always said in their FAQ and everything, whatever the newest information that just came out is the one that you should go off of. Yeah. And so, but what the problem was that the Codex was supposed to come out, months ago, and that Field Ministorum, the points update was supposed to come out after. So, but it didn't. So it technically, you can get away with playing 10 points.
I don't think any TO is going to allow that for now. So, but yeah. Did the racks go up in point cost?
No,
8 points.
You're 8 points. But the thing is the racks, Prophets of Flesh no longer just gives you a flat up 4+ invulnerable.
That's what
there is no Dark
Eldar. On the other hand, have inbuilt transhuman.
Correct. For Prophets. And you've got some of the good thing about it is all of the cult or all the covens are now worthwhile. There's things that you can take. It's not just like auto Prophets like they used to. They're very good, don't get me wrong. But the things that I'm really looking forward to, racks are still super good, and you can buff up a unit if you take basically like the chapter master buff. You can take a chapter master buff for an Archon, a Succubus, or a Homunculus, and then if you do that, you can have access to some warlord traits and stuff. But then you also can make one of the units buffed up. You can take a 10-man unit of either, which is warriors. You can make the warriors Trueborn, Blood Brides, or Heka Smuggle buffed up racks. And the Homunculus has a super cool ability. He's just got a thing where he can get D3 racks back a turn on the command phase, like he's like a Chronomancer type.
Comeback racks. No, that's cool. Does Dark Eldar have anything in the ballpark of resiliency, like something that survives? Because Dark Eldar has been historically.
I mean, if you play the Homunculus, the Coven of Flesh, with the inbuilt transhuman grotesques are really, really good.
Yeah.
So like how much would that detachment run you? So like if you're talking about a grotesque detachment that stays on the board, how much does that detachment run you? Characters, everything, all the little tricks and stuff to keep them alive. Because typically in the past, Dark Eldar have been a very efficient army.
It depends on how you want to play it, right?
Damage output.
Their toughness 6 with a Homunculus. And they have
I'm asking you generally, high level, how would you play it, right? So like Dark Eldar historically are a very good damage army.
Right now, though. See, for me, because the grots are still sitting at what 40 points a model. So I don't like
points according to the upgrade, right, in the book. So it depends on if you're going at the codex or the new points.
But I don't know. I like that, but I've never been a fan of that. And the thing is the witch coats for me are just so strong and so fast. Yeah. Between like the bikes, the Reaver jet bikes, the thing is you can roll for 2 drugs now and use both of them, or you can pick one. So you pick like the drug that you need, like on your witch squads, like that want to do secondaries, you give them +2 movement, and I'm rolling on a lot of the other ones because it's just good. But you can get +1 ballistic skill. Heat lances and +1 ballistic skill are just tasty, man. They're just so good.
So then, are we talking like Dark Eldar will most likely be a MSU heavy damage output, heavy speed output army, but dies pretty quickly, and the goal of the army is to just do maximum damage to the opponent faster than the opponent can do damage to you.
Yeah, that seems like the most viable build. But I think real space raider with a little bit of everything, like 4 units of racks with double flamers as technomancers into raiders for his dealing damage, and then some wishes, and then some other stuff could probably also be a super interesting build.
My first.
As far as I've seen, the only penalty you get from souping them is that you don't get patrols for free, right? Everything else is there. Which means Dark Eldar with Harlequins are looking super juicy for me right now.
Well, you don't get the power from pain if you do soup, period.
Okay, you remove
I'm saying you're talking soup. I was talking about having different things. Like, for instance, for me right now, my initial list is 2 units of 10, Hellions, 2 units of 10, bikes. I'm running triple patrol right now, so I can get the maximum CP because you basically go up 2 CP because they're all 0. But I'm spending so much in relics and warlord traits because 60-point succubuses with a warlord trait and a weapon are just insane. You have things like show stealer, which means
you double mortal wounds and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. With literally you put the blood glaive on somebody from Red Grief, and then you're going in, and every 6 is 3 mortal wounds, and then you've got basically one that's basically show stealer is like student of history. You can literally consolidate 6 in any direction, so you can attack and then consolidate before people can attack back.
Yeah.
So it's very, very strong on that. But you've also got the fact that there's just one of the weapons that came out in Book of Rust, which literally is for Cult of Strife, which just came out also. Yeah. Just straight up says if you get hit, can't fall back. Period. Just if you get hit. Not wounded, not anything, just straight up can't be hit. And the thing is the witches are better now on this because it's -1 per shard net impaler. So you're basically doing a roll off, and your opponent's going to be somewhere between -1 and -3. Incubi have a built-in ability at the beginning of the fight phase. They roll 2d6. If they're over your leadership, you fight last, just period. And there's tons of ways to give -1, or more leadership all over the place. So when you're setting things up, even against smaller units of Incubi, you have to ask yourself, if I charge these guys, am I going last? Because they just do it for free. So they have tons of tricks. I've got those in, and mandrakes are fantastic. Mandrakes have finally got their day.
Yeah, I love the mandrakes with the redeploy stuff.
Yeah, first off, they forward deploy like incursors, infiltrators, nurglings, but then
they redeploy.
Yeah, once a game they can just literally pop into reserve and then deep strike somewhere. So especially if you're going first, you just you box out and then bam, you go back up into the air and then deep strike exactly where you need them.
That's pretty cool. So I think that's a must take.
Yeah. They're so cheap. They're basically 15 points. So 75 points for a squad of 5, and
they're super good at doing your fucking objectives and stuff, and they can deal some damage if you need them to. They're not super good at that, but
are Hellions and bikes?
It's also the coolest models.
Are Hellions and bikes deploying on the board? Normally, Hellions and bikes, are they deploying on the board?
You can. It's just the only reason I'd bring them in bigger squads for the bigger flyover damage, but all of those things are on 32s, so it's just a huge footprint.
Okay, and then are witches in transport still, or are they deep striking, or how
I've
are
been
witches
actually
interacting?
bringing small units of witches just for objective taking, and then I have 2 patrols. I have a patrol of Red Grief and a patrol of Strife. So I have 2 witch patrols.
Stop tapping on your desk. Thank you.
And then,
are they in transports though, or are they walking? No, they're walking. Okay.
Because I'm just using them for objective stuff.
Okay, yeah. And then is the succubus with them, like walking around, or is the succubus?
I have 3 succubuses.
Yeah. How are they being delivered?
They're walking because they're fast as shit. They basically
they move 8 in advance.
Yeah. And then they could possibly have they have 2 rolls on the drugs, or you could pick the drugs and just say they have +2 to movement. So they could basically be 10 plus D6 advance and move. So they just haul ass and assault.
Okay. So are the vehicles looking attractive at all with the Venoms or the Ravengers or the Raiders, or is that not what we're looking for right now?
What I think you're going to see right away before you get, because you always have hobby lag, you know what I mean? People have to get to the models that are now good and get them and everything else. But people are going to be playing Dark Technomancer like they were before, because Dark Technomancer is the exact, basically is still super good with the +1 to wound and +1 to the damage on it. And you're going to have all those little zooming around, but basically liquefiers, flamers doing 2 damage and +1 to wound is super good. And the thing is you never risk it, because the only thing that they also turned it so it's just 1 more to wound if you roll a 1, not per or anything. So it's still that. It's D3 on a vehicle if you roll a 1. But of course, liquefiers you don't roll to hit, so there's no risk. So it feels very strong. I mean, that list is, and it's something that people already have. It's not like my complete.
Also good on grotesques, I think.
Give them all liquefiers.
Unfortunately, you're giving away the Great Cleaver, which is looking a lot more interesting now on damage 2 than it used to do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of things got damage bonuses. A ton of the weapons, Incubi weapons are plus.
Splinter cannons, damage 2.
Damage 2. Incubi damage 2. You did, and the thing is you could weave in. I could actually see like Raiders and Venoms just running around with multiple like people that are just inside doing Dark Technomancer with liquefiers inside, doing stuff.
I could easily see myself playing 10 Venoms with double liquefier guns in them, and just playing on their damage, and just playing the game.
And the thing is
just playing mission.
What I really like about this codex so far is I feel that there's a lot of like competitive builds already. Like you make a build and you make another build, you're like, these are both really good.
Yeah, that's how the last Dark Eldar book felt too, in my opinion. It felt like there was a lot of really cool builds.
Yeah,
like when it came out a while ago.
Book. Yeah.
What I did was, I know the Wish Cult is getting the most love, so I haven't looked at it at all. I've only looked at the other stuff.
It's so hard for me not to take multiple succubuses with all that, because they're
literally. No, I understand. You're a power player.
Yes, it's literally 60-point units that can go destroy shit, and even if you trade, you still get such a favorable trade. Yeah. And also one of the big things.
I understand, and I agree. It's the best. It's the best choices, of course.
Brad,
there are a lot of other interesting stuff.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
They have they literally have the best thing about that is they have a reroll wound strat.
Are you still talking about the succubuses? Are you like standing on a milk carton talking about
the entire Wish Cult? I would say.
Yeah, all of the Witch Cult. They have the access to reroll wound strat, but they also have the biggest thing for me is because one of the hardest things when you're playing this Dark Eldar is units of flamers, aggressors, whatever that just had things that could just burn you out in Overwatch. They have a strat now for ignoring Overwatch. It's so big because you can get into combat and keep them and people into combat. So
I think ruin walls help with that too.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is you can make those out in the open type charges, grab an objective from somebody, kind of thing,
Yeah, with smaller units, yeah, but and you have CP, right? Because your list is like going the patrol route, so you're not spending the CP on the detachments. So that's pretty nice.
You even get 2 extras. So you have 14 CP if you don't buy a lot of extra shenanigans.
And then you
spend like 5 on warlord traits and relics. Yeah,
so Brad is probably at 8, is my guess.
Yeah.
I'm
extra warlord trade, 3 relics.
Everybody went down to the armory, and I was just like, "You get a relic, you get a relic."
Bro, I think a side note. So today's the first day I got the chat to work, and I'm fairly confident that Carmona is blasted, like wherever he is at like fucking 10:45 in the morning. He's got to be toasty right now because he's got the weirdest questions today.
He does have one of my favorites. We'll do a show.
Does he have any Subway menu questions?
He doesn't even look at the Subway menu. He just goes in and smells the bread and then goes, "I can't afford this place," and he leaves. He smells the dessert bread.
Many racial slurs about that, but I'm gonna be quiet.
Where's Robert when you need him? Excuse me, exactly. It's 1:45 here.
Carmona just dropping the hard questions on this. I have to read this one.
He's hijacking he hijacked the chat today like a pro. Carmona, you're lucky I like you. Otherwise, I'd ban your ass.
Yeah, can you list some of the subtle cheating techniques required to consistently go top 8 at major events, and who's best at each of these examples? Oh God.
I have a lot of jokes.
Yes, that's why I was just about to say you got all of the jokes.
Ignore min sizes.
What you guys are talking about.
That's a relevant one.
Brit says that my mullet's making her sad. My background.
Why? I like your backgrounds. I wish I had a picture really quick I could have thrown up. I did not. So it's my messy house. I'm excited to finish your attack bikes though, Brad.
Dude, I'm so psyched for the way you said.
I'm gonna see if I can build one of those and put it up on GG as a post. I've been busy with work, but I tried to print it yesterday. It didn't work out. So 3D printing is not the easiest thing. If you don't do it on a consistent basis, you forget like simple stuff, like cleaning your FEP sheet with alcohol before you start.
Fucking Corey and Carmona are having a chat war to see who can say the most crazy shit right now.
Yeah, Corey and Carmona. It's like literally the. I was going to say that's like Godzilla versus King Kong movie, but then I realized that that's not a good representation because King Kong's just going to die in that movie. So like that just doesn't even make sense. Like Godzilla is just going to like destroy King Kong. So it's got to shift in some way. What are your thoughts, guys, on so it sounds like Dark Eldar is good. It sounds like Witch Cult is probably one of the best places to start if you're a power gamer. Daniel's obviously looking for value elsewhere because he's Daniel and that's how he rolls. It also sounds like the army will still suffer from its number one issue, which is resiliency, but it might make up for it with damage output and just sheer breaking the rules and doing things that other things don't do. So sounds really good. I like it. I'm excited for it.
There's so many different things you can do with it. And the thing is if you were already, we'll take like Nate's list, for instance. I know we got a little bit of shit on that, but like just that if you're already souping, even if you aren't getting the power from pain stuff, those units all just got better. You know what I mean? If you were taking Dark Eldar stuff, they're just better units.
Where I'm at with it as well. The power from pain got downgraded, I would say. You don't have the feeling pain and stuff.
Yeah. And
you only have the 6-up invo in the beginning. The advance and charge is big though in turn 2. That's super big. But except for that, I feel like if you compare this codex to like Space Marine codexes, that really get penalized for souping. This is a soup-friendly codex, which makes me happy because I want to play my Dark Eldars with like Harlequins.
Is there a special character that lets you modify the power of pain table at all?
No, but Chronos, when they kill or deal wounds, I don't remember the rule exactly, but when they do damage, they let a unit within 6 of them max out of the power of pain table.
Whoa!
You can also res a model.
That's pretty cool. Okay,
but for the power from pain table, the Blackheart of the Cabal, Vex basically Cabal treats the table as the
one better than normal.
One better, but he also gives that to mercenary units, so Incubi, Mandrakes, and all that kind of stuff. So they basically start off the game advancing and charging. Wyatt also made a good comment in the fact that the Mandrakes are just mercenaries, so you can basically put them anywhere and they don't violate anything. They don't break.
Do you know who owns? Do you know who owns 80 blisters of Mandrakes?
Yeah. How? Do you really?
This guy.
80 blisters.
Yes. I have like 80 little blisters of a Mandrake, like the oldest metal pewter model ever. There's like 2, I think, in the blister each. Yeah, I have a ton of them.
Cool.
They're somewhere in a bag. Gonna have to.
They're really. I love those models. I think they're super cool.
No, they're the old ones, not the new nice ones, the plastic ones. No, I don't have those. No, I don't have those. I have the old pewter.
I have some of the old ones too.
I have the old ones. I have like 80 of them at least minimum. I think there's actually 160 of them because I think there's 2 per blister. And there was a GW employee who was disgruntled back in the day who was like, hey, Alan, just take this. I was like, all right, cool.
Disgruntled.
Oh, yeah, they don't treat them nice. So I took advantage of it back in like 2006 or something. I don't even know when it was.
When you were a wee lad?
Yeah, no, I used to have a pretty good connection too on the bits thing. They used to have the bits books at GW where you could buy bits by So GW employees could buy pewter by the pound. They didn't charge them per bit. They just paid pewter by pound.
So by the gram. So thank you very much.
Yeah, it was by gram. Yeah, and they would come in. They would come in like, Alan, your order's here, and they would just put it on the counter, and they would like drop it, and they would just like hit the counter. It's like 5 pounds of pewter or whatever.
How many pounds?
Whatever grams.
How many kilos is 5 pounds of bits?
I have no idea. 2 kilos is 1 pound, something like that. That's close.
2.2.
10 kilos. 10 kilos. That's 5 pounds.
It's the other way around.
Whatever. Yes, I don't care.
2.2 pounds is a kilo.
Don't tell me my life.
Look, I
think it's 15 kilos.
How many cubits?
I'm never.
That's the
even
measurement ever.
Even though I know all of this, I'm never gonna admit that I know all of it because that one call we had where I misspoke and I was like, I think I'm like, I don't know, like 440 kilos or something like that. Like I just didn't know. Like I had no idea. I was just like wasn't paying attention to the conversation. And then Daniel's like, you're definitely not that many kilos. And then I'm like, I think I am. And Daniel's like, that's like a car, bro. So, he's like, you need a crane to move you out of your house if that was true. Like, you wouldn't be able to get up, bro. So yeah,
I did love back in the day when they did the bits by the gram and all that.
Oh, it was amazing. And then I had a GW Connect, so I was getting it 50% off on top of bits by the gram already. So it was so sick. It was the best time. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Also, Ard Boys. I don't know if you guys ever did. Well, Daniel never had Ard Boys, but Daniel, we used to have a tournament where they would give you an entire army when you win first place.
Yeah, they kept rejecting me because I kept asking for Metal Sisters every time.
So you would tell them what you want. They would send you the army. They would send you 2,500 points of any army you want. They would just box it up and send it to you. And then when I got it, I would just take it.
Alan, that was only if you won, right?
Correct. And I won 3 times. I don't know how.
It wouldn't be a problem for Brad.
It would be a problem. It would be a problem for Brad.
I also won several times. Thank you very much.
And actually, funny stories. I think Brad and Greg went to different locations so they can both win one year. And Greg came to my location and lost.
Yeah, that's true.
This guy right here.
Okay, so that's the theme. It's
Sparky.
not that Brad never wins. It's that Brad and Greg never wins against you, Alan.
Yeah,
Daniel.
Correct.
Actually, the funniest is when young beardless Alan and I were at one of the Ard Boys, we were playing at the 2 top tables, and we came in 1 and 2. We both won our games, and as usual, Alan didn't play me but won the event, and I was like,
yeah, that did happen. That was at finals. That was at the finals, Ard Boys. That was like a different year.
I'm just humble here because whenever I go to the States and don't end up on Sweet 16, I meet Brad in like game 1 and lose. Yeah. So I'm humble, you know. It's
you're like, dude, that's just a regular guy. Everybody, that is true, KR. The regional prizes were amazing. The finals prizes were terrible.
I have to keep ducking Brad now forever because if he ever beats me in a game in the future, he's never gonna let me forget it. So I just have to keep I have to make sure I never play him.
Will I?
Yeah. Yeah. I have to make sure I never play him now. That's got to be a key. It's got to be a goal of mine. So just don't show up to tournaments he's in, and I'll be fine. And I'll just keep saying I could beat him, and no one could prove otherwise. I don't know what he's reading. Brad, what are you reading? You look very intent. Oh, what's the chat saying these days? I ignored it because James Carmona has like posted 15 different.
Wyatt was just talking about like he hasn't bought anything in a long time, and what are the base size changes? Because that's the one thing that you definitely have to respect. And I was just saying like Hellions bikes, and basically almost all the flying type stuff is all on 32s. So they did make a significant amount of changes in the base sizes. The witches and stuff are still small, like tiny bases. So
got it.
And you can still put a billion racks on the table in a very small footprint, which is why I keep going back to the Coven stuff.
So wait a minute. So not to get into specifics, Brad, but just high level, is Dark Eldar going to change the meta? Do you think?
Yes.
And why? Why will it change the meta?
It's the first codex that come out that actually deal a significant amount of damage.
Okay.
The both Death Guard and Dark Angels have all their defensive buffs. This is something else. This is a glass cannon. This is going to be interesting.
So are you expecting then the approach of 40K, which is like a lot of players right now are focusing on resiliency and board control for 3 of the 5 turns? Do you expect that to kind of no longer be an effective strategy once Dark Eldar gets folded into the mix? If you run into a Dark Eldar army, the resiliency that you were hoping for in the past may not be able to hold you out for the 3 turns you're looking for.
You literally can. The thing is they're so fast and they deal so much damage that so many people have been taking their armies and getting less shots with more high damage shots. You need the volume back in because they still have a high model count. And also, if you're playing like these very slow, like single things taking the board, the Dark Eldar might just kill everything that's not that big unit easily because of their speed. You know what I mean? Because they can just be everywhere because they're so much faster than you. You're looking at units with, a 14 to 20 inch base move, and then they're advancing, and they might be advancing at +2. You know what I mean? So like they're just so much faster than you. So they can hit something, you try to react to it, and they just leave. You know what I mean? So they can play hide and seek basically with you the whole game, and also they're already built in that they're going to take damage and lose units, so they're playing with that style already.
Their stuff are super cheap compared to other stuff as well, so they're trading really good if they're getting the charges in.
Okay,
so
that's fair.
I agree with what you're saying, Brad. You need to go a little bit away from the Melta theme and put in some more volume of shots into there. So you probably need some Melta still because you need to open up the boats and stuff.
Well, that's where I was just going to go, Daniel. I was going to say, if you go away from the Melta thing, what does that do for other armies now with the changes to vehicles counting for less on the damaging vehicles? It's only 2 points now, or 1 less for whatever the category is. And then if you start decreasing there, what happens to like the 6 Chimera Deathcore Krieg army with engineers in it? That all of a sudden gets kind of a boost, right? Because everyone's trying to tailor now towards more firepower, maybe.
Yeah. Here's a question asked so much. Who's winning versus you and Grapando in a fist fight now? Apparently we have 40K Fight Club.
Tony wouldn't fist fight me. He would just literally pick me up and break me in half. Tony, that's like Batman versus Bane.
450 kilos, man.
Tony could actually pick up 450 kilos. No, Grapando could probably pick up 450 kilos. That dude is yoked, bro. He's really strong. I think if we put on gloves and we put in rules where there's no wrestling and you can't use physical force, I feel like I'll be okay. But just because I have training,
not allowed to use.
No. If he can grab me, it's over, dude.
Vectors from coming anywhere near me.
No, he's gonna destroy me if he can grab me. That guy's just yoked, bro.
I'll obviously win because I summoned.
Bro, you did something to me that I don't know how to come back from at this point in time.
He's a necromancer. Yeah. Hello, he's summoned a spirit to defeat you. Dude, everyone knows this.
Actually, to be honest, I can't beat anyone in a fight anymore. I'm no longer a fighter. Ever since I tore my chest fighting Daniel when he was drunk, and literally, me fighting Daniel, what I mean about that is, I basically just tried not to get hit by drunk Daniel. Because I was trying to have a fun wrestling match, and Daniel's throwing real punches. So I'm like, okay, Daniel's drunk. He will hurt me, and he won't care. So I need to block these.
I didn't touch you.
You didn't. You didn't touch me because I blocked the punch like this and then tore my whole chest out.
Well, that's why we know Daniel lives way away from the city because of the fact that he's consistently summoning these undead spirits to do battle for him. So he has to be away from everything else.
Yeah, no.
He's basically on a ley line.
Dude, it was terrible, bro. And I'm in Stockholm trying to go to a hospital now. Forget about that socialist system. Terrible. A lot.
Follow the yellow lines.
Paint on the ground.
It works really well if you pay tax in this country. But
what taxes? What are you talking about? It doesn't work well if you pay taxes at all. You know how I know that for a fact? I skipped every taxpayer in line when I paid $300 American. They were like, oh, you have cash, real cash? Go. You can see someone now. Here you go. And then there's like people missing an eyeball. Like the dude's holding his eye in his hand. And like he's not able to see a doctor. He's like, I've been here for 9 hours in this waiting room. There's like, 50 people in this waiting room. No one is being seen. No one. Zero.
It wasn't a real eye. It was a summoned eye.
All taxpayers, Terrible, terrible, terrible. God forbid I ever get hurt in that country again. That would be bad.
I love it.
Worse. And then I see a doctor. I see like an actual medical doctor, right? And he has an x-ray in front of him, right? And I'm like, this guy went to med school, right? Because he's a doctor. He's a fucking doctor, right? And he has an x-ray and he's like, it might be broken. I don't know. Like, you have a fucking x-ray. Tell me if it's broken. What's broken? He's like, well, I don't know. We need an MRI. We don't have that kind of machine here. It's the biggest hospital I've ever seen in like a foreign country. It's huge. He doesn't have an MRI. He's like, yeah, no, you'll have to go back to the States and get an MRI for this because we can't see if there's any other damage, And I'm like, all right, well, what the hell was the point of even coming here now?
And then he asked her, he goes, your friend, the necromancer, does he know any shamans that could possibly heal?
No, man, it was terrible, bro. Terrible.
I do love the chat on this. Blocks a punch, tears his chest. Pure athleticism.
Yeah,
Carmona,
seriously, dude.
Fucking straight up unit.
Yeah. I did. I literally went to block a punch and tore out my whole chest. I mean, we were doing other things that day that might have caused some tears to happen earlier. Plus, I wrestled Jimmy on the floor in Daniel's kitchen.
Miss this. I tried to fix you.
You did also fall your ass on the cliff.
I also fell on the cliffs. I fell on these cliffs with water before getting into an ice river. And then I did push-ups with Brad after lifting an entire table over my head. And Brad kept yelling at me that I'm a pussy. Do more push-ups. I did like 45 push-ups that day.
Hey, I also helped you. I totally tried to pop your shoulder. I thought your shoulder.
Oh yeah, that was also bad too.
So I tried to pop it back.
And then after,
it was yanking on his arm.
Yeah, and then after my injury, Brad's like, "I'll fix it," and yanks on my arm when my whole chest was either popped out or somewhat torn. I don't know. I don't know the full extent. A lot of alcohol and a lot of things happened, so it was bad.
I mean, I did wake up to basically having enough whipped cream that I was a sundae on my face. So,
yeah. Oh, dude, you should have seen when I gave them $300, bro, at this hospital, bro. I swear to God, they're like, no one wanted to help you. No one even wanted to look at me. I pulled out $300. They're like, oh, yeah, come with us. Oh my God, someone take this man. It's like, what the hell, guys? You guys could ask for a lot more money. Joke's on you. They could have been like, we need $1,000. We need to see. You need to see a doctor. $1,000. I would have paid, no problem. $300 was nothing for the pain I was in. At least they gave me drugs, which Brad couldn't get. Brad couldn't get.
Yeah, they didn't
drugs.
Get it to me.
Brad has like real problems, and he couldn't get any drugs
so annoyed at that.
anywhere.
Like,
and they were like $300. Yeah, here's your drugs.
So, well, let's get the backstory of that. So I forgot because I'm an idiot. I figure out as we're basically boarding the plane to Europe that I forgot some fairly important prescriptions that I did not bring with me, and I went to a Swedish pharmacy, and they effectively just went, "We don't care if you have prescriptions from America; those are just fake. We're not going to help you at all."
Yeah,
like basically go to a Swedish doctor, and then we'll talk to you.
I don't even think they have your medicine there, Brad, because the x-ray machine they used was the size of my house. It's like the biggest goddamn x-ray machine I ever seen in my fucking life. Like, I don't even know what the hell it was. It was literally like, I swear to God, it was like a 65-inch flat screen TV thing. Like, it had to come off the wall. Who knows what I think I was in a project of some kind. Some Swedish take over the world thing. I have no idea. But it was definitely a scam, and there was really no reason to go to the hospital whatsoever. If I was back in that situation, I would have.
You both sound like QAnons.
If I had a time machine, Daniel, this is what I would do. I would go back just before my chest ripped, and instead of blocking your punch, I would kick you in the chest like Sparta, leave you there unconscious, and then just go and eat my crawfish. That's what I would do if I had a time machine. That's literally what
should have done.
That's what I should have done.
Would you drop Nick into the thorn bush twice?
No, that was his fault. That's not my fault. I asked him to apologize. That was all he had to do was say sorry. And he wouldn't have the scars he has today. That's it.
That's true.
So it wasn't a big deal. Yeah, no more.
I'm still upset that I got my thumb disconnected and had to have it surgically reattached. And you win the bet. I'm out.
Yeah. It's like, nah, I'm good. You win the bet. Done. Like Brad's like, what do we bet on? Nothing. Pride.
Yeah.
Well, looks like I have medical problems.
Press Nick over your head the most times. I pressed him, and then he
flopped. Did Nick win? Did Brown win that GT?
Yeah, he just won this weekend.
Because he didn't have to play Sean? Yeah, that makes sense.
And he played Sisters this time. He bailed.
He played Sisters just in case. Sisters. But still would have lost to Sean. So.
Ooh. Corey, shots fired. That's the closest that dude has ever been to a bush in his life.
That's actually not true. It's actually not true, Corey. I have a very good story for you. Morning of Sweden. And it's called the Troll Hunter story. I will tell it to you another time, but you might have heard it. You might have heard it. But there was an interrogation the morning after, and I found out that Nick has come close to other bushes in the past.
I think you have mind control on that.
You also made it. Yeah, I think Sean beats me though with mind control on Nick because he gets him to with gaming. Yeah, with gaming. Yeah. I have mind control on Nick in life. Sean has it in gaming. So like, if we combine our powers, we can just puppet master.
Danny, do you remember how Alan single-handedly cleared out all Swedish people when we were in the restaurant?
The whole restaurant just like cleared out.
Just left.
He wasn't. Daniel, were you there? I don't know if you were there that morning.
He might not have been. It was just Jimmy.
I don't think so. I think it was Jimmy, yeah. And Jimmy was like just laughing so hard. It's funny.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Just an interrogation about what happened the night before. I basically interrogated Nick. You know the story, right, Daniel? I interrogated Nick about his time with the troll. Like what he did, what the troll did.
He interrogates him and will not stop. He's like basically just got him in Guantanamo Bay, has him in the corner. He's just basically breaking him down. And every single Swedish customer just went, deuces, I'm out of here. He just left the restaurant.
Yeah, it was good.
It was just Americans.
It was a good time.
And your brother, who's basically honorary American.
Hey, does anyone know? Do you guys know where that tournament was? I saw something on Facebook from somebody, and I think that was the tournament Nick won at that tabletop place. That was a really nice place. The venue was really nice. The terrain was really good. The store looked really good. Looks like it was in a mall. But it was nice. I was very, very surprised at the quality.
That's Birdsong's place. That was his first day open, dude. His place looks sweet.
Oh, is that Birdsong, Anthony?
Yeah.
I thought he owns a car dealership.
He does, and he apparently opened up a gaming store that he did the Jurassic Park spare no expense kind of deal because that thing is boss mode.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm super jealous of anyone that lives in Florida and can go to tournaments right now.
It wasn't in Florida. It was in Maryland.
Tables
I'm so sick and tired of this shit. I need to go to tournaments. I miss the competitive edge in everything.
Yeah, Daniel really misses playing the guy who just got the red stick out of the starter box, and he's like trying to figure out how to move his mouth.
I know, but just how you prepare for tournaments, how you test out stuff. It's fuck, I miss it so much.
Yeah, I love I'm not gonna lie, the prepping for getting ready for the tournaments and testing and time, and then literally right after the tournament might be my favorite time when you're
your list on the way home and you start on the plane or a car ride. Yeah.
Wait, did Birdsong play in the event too? No, okay. I was curious because that would be hilarious if he's the guy that owns that store who ran the tournament that Nick won. It'd be funny if he was playing in the event and then got in an argument with someone. It was like, "That's my store, so if you don't agree to it, just pack up and leave."
That's true. You're going wait for June. You're going to Austria in June, correct?
Who's going to Austria in June?
Daniel, there's a big tournament there.
Yeah, I mean, I am. If it's
Europe looks rough, bro. Europe is on fire. Europe is on fire, bro.
Everything COVID sucks, man.
Yeah, Europe is bad.
It's like, yeah, sure, I'm going if it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
France is locking down. Germany is locking down.
Everything's gonna lock down again.
Yeah.
Your whole summer is going to be in your house again, and then you're going to have winter again, and I'm going to have all these like late night calls from you about how depressed you are.
That's just fucking mean, Alan. That was just brutal.
Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at his face.
I'm fucking sad for Daniel with you saying that shit, man.
He wants to stab me right now. It's so good.
He's fucking on his way. He's definitely fucking calling Elon Musk to fucking get that ride over now.
It's because he knows it's true, though. That's why he's like, that motherfucker. Don't say such things.
He's about to fucking get a longbow and fucking invade your ass.
I at least have a pool and unlimited supply of white wine, so I'm gonna be fine.
You're gonna need more white wine. Fuck you. You guys,
fuck you.
We've actually been saying that for a while, man. We want Daniel here in the States.
I love it so much. You know what, Daniel? I heard you can go to Florida. They're fine. They're fine with you going there.
Yeah, we have family in Florida. We should move there.
Yeah. They're partying in Miami on spring break.
Yeah, bro. Just let's meet up in Florida, man. I'll see you there. I got my first shot.
Bet you want some Subway now, huh, bitch?
Oh my God. It's so funny. Also, Daniel, you literally look like a different person in that picture behind you.
Yeah.
That was model Daniel, bro.
The space between.
You also looked different 20 years ago, Alan. Then you had diapers, bitch.
That's true. Well, I was wearing diapers at 10.
I just posted up a picture when Alan was 0, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did you graduate high school? 75?
89.
You liar.
Thank you very much. That was my 5th time. I'm like the dudes from
so you graduated.
Twilight. I just keep going back to high school.
So you graduated high school when I was born. So you could have been my dad, technically.
So,
I mean, let's be honest, Alan. Say hi to your mom.
Oh, that's so funny. Because my mom does like you, actually. She's probably watching the show. Say hi to her.
Hello.
She loves telling me when she gets a notification. She's like, I got a notification. I'm like, yeah, that's how it works.
I want to basically show up in Chicago every Sunday to eat with you guys. She makes amazing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, not with COVID, bro. Chill pill. Chill pill on the COVID. But where were you the last 5 years? That's my question to you. Before COVID. Why weren't you coming over at all?
I didn't realize that I could get that much food all the time.
Whatever.
You didn't let me over. You literally didn't let me come over to your parents.
That's true. But next time.
You waited until I was feeble.
Daniel, I hope you get to go to Austria, man. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So you're not such a moper.
Yeah.
I don't like you moping.
I'm gonna apply to or sign up for the London GT in September as well.
How is your league going? Is your league still going strong, or are you getting sick and tired of those guys?
Yeah, no, we're playing the league. My Astralist crashed and burned. Somehow, when I took out the planes and put in the quad guns, it got worse. I've been trying to figure that out, but I think it was based on like threat overload. People tried to kill the planes instead of other things. And when I took them away and just put in the quad guns,
then they just killed the other things. And then you were like, oh.
Exactly. They just killed the other things instead. And the planes and the quad guns didn't really deal any damage. So I think I misjudged that a bit. But it's okay. I'm going to play some Dark Angels now.
You're switching to Dark Angels? Are you playing the Raven Guard army we were talking about? Raven Wing?
Exactly.
Yeah, the Raven Wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that list is fun. That list looks cool. I like Black Knights a lot, actually. I love their strat where they just go, bye. I think it's really solid. So I think you're going to have fun.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna change a little bit with it and put in like 3 units of servitors or something just to have some infantry units for screen.
It's some of these lists that are super boring are too tough to play. Like I always want to play the best shit, but you gotta have an army that you enjoy putting on the board because you want to play the most games and have the most fun while winning.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important.
Who are you?
Our league is doing good. We're increasing the next league. We're gonna be around 40 people. So we're doing 8 groups of 5, and then final system where you have the 8th final, the quarterfinal, the semifinal, and the final. So.
You guys doing 1 game a week?
We have a minimum of 1 game. Yeah, we have a minimum of 1 game a week. Yeah, we have. But it's you're not disqualified if you don't play 1 game a week. But then we have like checkpoints. So after 3 weeks, you have to have played like at least 2 games, and then after 5 weeks, 4 games, etc. So you can plan your gaming. But
gotcha.
It works well.
And everyone has painted armies?
No. The idea of the Liga is to be able to play different concepts for fun. So what we've said, if you want to proxy or play with unpainted model, it's fine, as long as the army becomes better painted and more, less proxy
as you
during the period.
So you should be working on the miniatures as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
so to increase the hobby score as well during the playtime.
How often do you guys change lists? Like when like you just said the guard one didn't work.
I mean, every Liga is like 6 weeks long. So this is the 3rd Liga this year.
Okay.
So set for the
league.
I
won the first one. Henrik won the second one. We'll see who wins the 3rd one. I don't care as long as it's someone from my club.
Are there more than 1 club there? 2 clubs?
Yeah. No, I mean we have a group called East Clap. It's
East
me,
Clap.
Jimmy, Robert, Henrik, and
Andreas. You let Robert in the group? That's so sweet. Such a nice guy.
Yeah. I mean, every group needs a social aid project, right? This is our project.
He did forget the entire rules for it. I made him an army, and we went over like exactly how to play it and all the stratagems for it. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot that I'm not allowed to use any of those secondaries." I was like, "Well, that changes a lot." He's like, "Yeah, I forgot that." Like,
yeah, no. So in the Liga, we're not playing with Codex specific secondaries right now because when the first Liga was on, we felt the oath was a little bit too strong, and there was not many codexes out. Yeah. And now we felt that it would be too beneficiary for Dark Angels. So maybe for the next Liga, which will start in, I guess, end of April or beginning of May, I think we're going to allow 1 codex specific.
I think a lot of people are doing 1 codex specific for tournaments too.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the period.
Hey, Brad, what's Jason doing for glass? Is that one secondary or from the codex or more? Because you're playing Marines.
He was actually talking about not doing any. He's actually doing. You have to take the mission specific secondary in each game.
Oh wow, that's good for people who like missionary specifics. Even the one where you have to score one of your opponent's objectives in their deployment zone.
It's unfucking scoreable, and you got a 15 on it. I just don't understand.
Skills.
And then for the next Liga, we're discussing to do the stuff we're talking about. So 30 points primary, 30 points secondary.
I'm very interested in how that works out, Daniel.
End game.
That sounds great. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
We're not 100% sure what the end game should be, though. We're thinking it might be more than just scoring objectives.
Yeah, I don't think it should be objectives based because the progressive is objectives based. So it would be interesting if the end game.
We're talking about a little bit of everything. So it could be like 10 points controlling the center of the board, 10 points killing, like a last strike thing, and then 10 points controlling objectives or something. We're still talking about debating it. I don't know.
But I like it a lot because you're putting your, testing it out though. You know what I mean? I like to win the league, come up with those ideas because I really, really like that. Sparky actually loved that idea too. We were talking about that. Anything that adds a little bit more variety, basically, you know what I mean? The things that you have to do with your army, especially with more books coming out, man. So it just makes the game just more interactive, more variables. It's just more fun for me.
I think, from my perspective,
me,
Daniel.
It's very easy. I don't want the game to be finished in turn 3.
Correct. That's exactly what I was going to say
right now.
So what I was going to say, Daniel, is I think for the armies that are a little slow starters or a little bit slow but are around towards the end, and to allow for a little bit of dynamic play like turn 5 and 4, I think you're right in the ballpark. I think having more units in the center than your opponent would be a good one. Units or models, like controlling the center by number of units or models. Forget OBSEC, just number of units or models.
Power level could be interesting.
Power level could be interesting. Yep.
Yeah.
I also think scoring your opponent's line breaker, an old school line breaker one would be interesting. Like having a unit in your opponent's deployment zone could be really interesting. And then I think table quarters could be interesting too. And like having to achieve these with independent units would be really, really interesting. Like if there's a unit within 6 inches of the center, it counts for center, but doesn't count for table quarters. Anything in deployment zones doesn't count for table quarters. So you really have to have a lot of units left at the end of the game to even get like a lot of points. Like it shouldn't be automatic. It should be kind of like difficult to get. So
agreed.
So like so if you played a game and like you lost turn 2, progressive a little bit, you didn't have a good chance. You lost turn 3 progressive a little bit, and then turn 4.
You're starting to play defensively to
correct.
Even at the end game.
Yeah, correct. Let's say turn 4 you get back in it a little bit. Yeah, turn 4 you get back in a little bit. But then turn 5 you get back in it massively, and then you get these end game ones as well, and then maybe it balances out. That'd be interesting.
The thing is, right now people are just bringing these super ultra alpha board control armies to pin people back. And then they just run up the progressive score, and then you just can't come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and those games are boring. Like the Necron expansionary game is boring. Like 60 warriors, I push you back with scarabs, I push you back with this.
Just trying to grab
I score. Yeah, it's not a good game. It's not a good game. So I totally agree with that, Daniel. I think center of the board, table quarters, and line breaker are, in my opinion, that those are the ones I would focus on, and I would let objectives go because they're very much like you're going to try to get objectives anyways because you're trying to get that score on turn 5 no matter what. So you're trying to get the objectives anyways. It shouldn't be a part of, in my opinion, the end game. It should just be a part of the progressive end game that's scored in the bottom of 2 anyways.
I like things like
but what we're talking about is changing back to how Games Workshop did progressive scoring before they changed to the what we're playing now.
Yeah.
And then put some more emphasis on end game scoring objectives.
Yeah.
So that way you're taking back a little bit of the bonuses now for.
That's not a bad idea too. Yeah. That's not a bad idea too. Yeah. You don't even need it. You don't even need the changes if you implement end game. Yeah, that's true. Exactly. I think another cool thing, by the way, Daniel, would be if your warlord's still alive, like the general of your army, your supreme commander or warlord.
Yeah,
if they're still alive at the end.
That's a good idea as well. We're not, we're not agreeing yet, and we still have at least 1 month before we have to release those rules, but we're working along those lines. I mean, it could also be like you have 6 different end game objectives, and you can choose 3.
Correct. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking of too. I'm making a bunch of them, and then I think having the ability to pick would be interesting as well. So yeah, no, I think that's a really good idea. I might actually like try to help you with that. So, or at least send you something, and then you can use it or not, your choice.
You could send it to me with a really cool graphic of Eastclap as well.
Of Eastclap. Eastclap. I don't know what Eastclap is.
Easy clap.
Easy.
It's like a game.
Why don't you just embrace gentleman gaming? Why do you have to make your own thing?
We tried to, but we never got any merchandise, so it's really hard. So I don't know.
We have merchandise, I think, somewhere. There's some shirts and some dice. I know that for sure.
Yeah, we need some shirts, some dice, and some objective mats. So we're planning to do that for EC Clap.
Yeah, we got all those.
Yeah, I know.
Well, gentlemen, are we ready for a dance-off?
No, I refuse.